Welcome back to Mike and Dylan Hate Drama, where we give advice to the people who need it.
The people.
The
I
people.
can't do it.
Yeah, I mean, mine is not great, but it still sounds funny.
Yeah.
I mean,
Mine sounds funny because it's so off.
I do impressions all the time, and then I get on the podcast, and I'm like, I need to bust out an impression. I'm like, what impressions do I do? And I'm just like, I don't know. But then if I'm not near the podcast, I'll just be doing them out there to you, my daughter.
They're still terrible. But
I mean, yeah, they're fucking god-awful. I'm not.
an impressionist?
Yeah, I'm not an impressionist. Not really funny either, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, you are.
So,
Like, that's why you let me be on the podcast, is because that brings your funny up, because it's like...
it's like hanging out with the ugly friend, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
You're
you hang
not
out with
funny.
me because I'm the ugly friend. So you get to look good, I get to look funny.
We
That
figured it out.
guys, on Mike and Dylan Hate Drama, we have viewer submitted stories that we give advice to. A couple in this episode are
Long and heavy.
long and long and heavy, unlike my penis.
See, I set up the joke for you.
Yeah, but I wanted to be like, yeah, I'm long and heavy. Technically, I'm just heavy. That's it. I'm not even long. I'm like 5'11". So, well, we're gonna get into this first one.
Am I doing it?
What do you mean? Are you doing it?
Which one are you doing?
You're doing the intro.
Huh?
You're doing the intro.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
we're-
that's the
oh,
first
yeah.
one.
Mike and Dylan Hate Drama.
There you go. You can do the intro. Yeah, you can do the first one. Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Well,
The
because you
past,
said
like,
you were doing the next story that's like 7 pages long. So
yeah. So the past 3 episodes, you've cut me off of the thing. I'm like, and then
see, that's
we're going to
even
get into the
funnier.
first story. And I'm just sitting there looking at you and just do it. Fucking push the button. Push
the
it.
intro.
All right, Dylan's going to do the first story.
All right, so this one is from Diane. Title is "My Soon-to-Be Ex-Husband is Delusional."
Delusional.
All right, I, 21 female, and soon-to-be ex-husband, 23 male, are getting a divorce. He wants to reconcile, but I do not. Am I the asshole? I think 21's young to be married and divorced already, but
Oh wow.
so a little, I guess maybe we'll get it in the backstory. So a little bit of backstory. I met my soon-to-be ex-husband when I was 18 on Facebook dating. I just learned about Facebook dating.
Really?
Yeah, somebody that
Is it like on Facebook?
the guy that we've been hanging out with the past 2 days, he's like, yeah, I use Facebook dating. And I was like, that's a thing?
I didn't know that.
Like, I know about like Tinder and all those other, and then like, you know, back in the day, there was plenty of
I know
fish
about
and-
Grindr, you know?
Yeah, Grindr. I mean, that one, but I mean, you risk it going down if there's like a Republican convention or anything.
Stop it. Keep going.
All right. So yeah, Facebook dating is a thing. I'd never seen the tab, but I guess it's somewhere in there.
Not to get political, that is a funny thing
Yeah.
that anytime there's a big like Republican convention or a big Republican gathering, Grindr goes down for some reason.
Don't know why. It's maybe Jesus ride them with them, and they're just like, we're gonna shut down the
Right,
the gay
and
app.
God's magic shuts down Grindr, so there's no
the
temptation.
solution. All right, so we started going on dates, hit it off really well. He was nice, kind, and funny, and whenever I needed something, he would always say, "I'm on my way." He lived an hour away, but eventually we wanted to see each other more, so he started coming over every night after work. He would pick me up and take me to work. I worked nights, he worked days, and he would sleep in the back seat of his truck while I was on my shift. After I got off, he'd drive me home and spend time with me until he had to leave for work. That is a solid situation.
Yeah,
going
all
on.
right.
Very willing to inconvenience himself to like sleep in the back of a truck instead of.
That's the beginning of love right there.
Well, one day he fell asleep with me. I was still living with my parents at the time, and they threw him out and told me I was on thin ice. Fast forward a few weeks, I got fired from my job, and when my parents found out, they kicked me out. I called my soon-to-be ex-husband, my boyfriend at the time, and he said, I'm on my way, and told me I could move in with him. So I did. He had previously given me a promise ring, and after he got thrown out of my parents' house, he asked for it back. Wait, that doesn't make
Never
sense.
mind, I take back my promise.
Yeah, no, like this is only if I can crash at your parents' house every once in a
Right,
while.
yeah. If not, at the first sign of inconvenience, I'm taking back this promise ring.
All right. After we packed up all my stuff, loaded my car onto a trailer, got to his house, unpacked everything, and unloaded the car, he took me up to this big hill on his property and proposed to me. We got married 3 weeks later at the courthouse. guys are moving quick.
Yeah, very quick. Is he being deployed?
Yeah, is he in the military? Everything was going well until his mother found out. She showed up at the house, and he and his mother got into an argument that ended with us having to leave. It wasn't legally his house. It was his father's house that his dad had given to him, but his mother said that since she was married to his father, it was her house, and she got to make the decisions. At that point, my family had found out we'd gotten married and allowed us to move in with them for a couple of months. My soon-to-be ex-husband then found a job working for the same company as my dad, but 2 hours away. We spent the next couple of weeks looking for an apartment while he drove back and forth from my parents' house to work every day. We finally found a place and moved in, and things were going good. About a month after we moved in, I wasn't feeling well, so I took a pregnancy test. It was negative.
Like, what was it? What was it saying? Like this life sucks. I don't want to be here anymore.
What was?
Everything's terrible. Like, I don't think humanity has a purpose. She took a pregnancy test and it was negative. I feel like that was a good one, but might not have been. Crickets
for me. Maybe the listener is currently laughing their ass off.
Nothing's worse than telling a joke on a podcast and the other person's just like, yeah. I need that. I need you to be like the Burt Kushner of this podcast, and you just fucking die and laugh. And it's the funniest thing you ever heard. Have you seen the podcast clips where a guy will say something innocuous and the other guy?
But according to our friend, Burt is the guy that interrupts and talks over every. So I think you'd have to be the guy that. I'd have to tell a very basic joke, and then you laugh like crazy.
I will. I'm gonna keep that in mind.
All right, so took a pregnancy test, and it was negative. It was saying all kinds of bad things, like Mike said. And now we're back to the story. After
Because it was a negative test.
guys. I sip my tea.
Did you quench your thirst,
water.
buddy?
It's water. It's not tea. I woke up the next morning, still feeling the same way, took another one, and it was positive.
That's good. Probably had something good happen to it, and then met somebody.
Won a lottery ticket.
Yeah.
I was immediately terrified. We had only been married for 5 months, had just moved into this apartment a month prior, and he had this new job where he was working 12 to 14, sometimes 16 hours a day. I felt bad because he worked so much and I didn't have a job, so I didn't tell him I was pregnant. That's good. Let's hide it from him.
Yeah, that's good. He's working 16 hours a day, and then, he gets home, he sleeps, and then wakes up, and then one day he's like, I haven't told you, but for the last 6 months I've been pregnant. It's like, why wouldn't you
We have
tell
a
me
baby
that?
in 3
Is
months.
this not my baby? Like,
I didn't want to put more stress on him. Admirable thought, but also not advisable to hide such a big life-changing event.
right.
That weekend, I passed out in the shower. He was home, ran in, and I told him from the shower floor that I needed to go to the hospital. He got me up, got me dressed, helped me to the car, and on the way to the hospital, I told him I was pregnant. He asked, "Are you sure?" And I proceeded to pull 37 pregnancy tests out of my purse, all of which were positive.
It's a little much.
The next couple of weeks were tense because I was terrified he was going to leave me. I finally just asked him if he was thinking about it, and he said, "I'm not thinking about it, but it's highly unlikely. There's a 99.99% chance I'm going to stay.
What?
I'm just worried we're moving too fast." Y'all got married in like a couple months. Like, you guys decided to, like, how long have they
Right.
been dating by the time that, I guess it didn't, like, say.
It didn't say. I wish it did.
But yeah, like, within a short period of time, you guys were already married. So you were moving fast already, and a kid happens with the sexy time. All right, that somehow made me worry even more. He started working more and more overtime. His only day off was Sunday. I didn't like that because when he'd get home, it would be 8 or 9 at night. And when he'd leave in the morning, it would be 3 a.m. I started trying to find ways for us to spend time together. When he'd come home, he'd be covered in dirt from working in a mine, so he'd go straight to the shower.
Oh, fuck, she's dating a minor.
Oh,
Yeah.
minor. I started joining him, and after he got out, I'd ask him to help me wash off. When I got out, he would dry me off, wrap me up in his arms, kiss my stomach, and tell me how much he loved me and our baby. That part was great. But he kept spending more and more time at work, even going to different mine sites on weekends. So eventually I wasn't seeing him even on Sundays. We had a big fight, and I accused him of cheating on me with a coworker. He told me they were all guys and that he wasn't gay. I ain't gay, babe.
The thing is, though, is I'm going to assume, you know what I'm saying, if my significant other is a minor, that they're not sleeping with somebody who is like, I mean, I guess if he likes, you know, what is the dirt that comes from mining? It's like soot covered pussy. Delicious. All
Well,
sweaty
they're
and
all
stuff.
guys, though.
Yeah, I mean, you can have a girl miner.
Well,
I think the only miner I've met in real life was a woman.
Really?
Yeah, you remember that?
Yeah, I do. It was like 30 minutes of awkward Mike having to get on FaceTime calls and stuff like that.
Oh, God, that was the worst experience. I met a fan, and they were like, man, my friend loves you. I'm going to FaceTime him. And then, like, FaceTime, he didn't answer. And then it was like, she called him, and she's like, you got to answer. I got a surprise. And then he fucking does it. He's like, dude.
She wasn't a minor. Her friend was a minor. That was it. Yeah,
They were both. She was a
no,
minor, too. She
no.
said she was a minor.
No.
And then she lied.
She might have been a minor, but, like, I know her from
Well, everybody
here.
was a minor before, but.
Yeah, no, she was not a MINER, unless that was when she lived not here, because there's not a mining job right here. But
I don't know.
all right, he told me they were all guys and that he wasn't gay. That made me even more angry, and I told him the baby wasn't his. What?
Wow.
Like, I know you are a listener, but like, this is
What?
this is crazy. Why would you tell him that it wasn't his?
I mean, the fastest way to make a man think that the baby wasn't his is just tell him it's not yours.
He told me to either get a DNA test or get out of the house. I left and moved in with my cousin. I got lonely, started talking to people on Facebook, found someone, and moved in with him while still pregnant with my soon-to-be ex-husband's child. After living with this new guy for a couple months, I decided to check up on my soon-to-be ex-husband. I looked up his Facebook and saw a video of him building a crib. I scrolled further down and saw the nursery he had built for me and our baby.
I think just your baby, not you.
Not you.
Yeah. Fuck.
A couple of weeks later, he knocked on the front door of my boyfriend's house. I got mad and slammed the door in his face before he could even say anything. I then took him to court for stalking. The judge threw it out due to lack of evidence. My soon-to-be ex-husband had apparently deleted things off of my phone shortly after I received divorce papers. My boyfriend then kicked me out, and I moved back in with my parents. I was a couple of months away from having the baby. I finally got an attorney.
I do hope, like, while they were typing this out, they were like, at midway point, they're like, oh, I'm the problem.
Well, they're asking if they're the asshole, and
So far, yes, you are indeed the. I mean, I don't know how crazy he can get. I mean, there's no way you redeem yourself in this story. Like, you are the asshole. It's the only thing we're looking at now is he also an asshole for something that he's done?
the only thing he's been an asshole for so far is working too much, but that does not really make him an asshole.
What a cunt, dude. What a fucking, he's about to have a baby and he's trying to fucking
Save up
provide
money
and
yeah.
he's working 14 to 16 hours a day and this 21-year-old child is accusing him of cheating because who works that long? Why would you work that long when you got a baby on the way?
All right, so I finally got an attorney, and we received correspondence from my soon-to-be ex-husband's attorney saying he wanted a DNA test and that he wanted to be present at the birth. Fast forward, I went into labor. My mother called my soon-to-be ex-husband at 4 a.m. He picked up on the second ring. Instead of saying, she's in labor, my mom just said, yes. And he said, I'll be there as quick as I can. I didn't want him in the room, so I made him wait in the lobby. He waited out there for 27 hours before he finally got to see his son. A few months later, he was visiting. We were still separated, and I said something I thought was totally harmless. I said that eventually, one day, he'd have a baby. What I meant was that he and another woman would have a child someday. He took it as me saying the baby wasn't his because we still hadn't done a DNA test at that point.
I mean, he is kind of playing off your line of saying the baby's not yours.
Yeah, it's pretty solid.
Yeah, and then you're like, one day you'll have a baby and you'll understand how it feels.
He left, contacted his lawyer, and told me he wouldn't visit again until a DNA test was done. My lawyer agreed. His lawyer agreed. He got the test, and it confirmed the child was, in fact, his. After that, he started pushing even harder to reconcile. I did not want to. One day, he tried to take our son from my parents' house. This was after I asked him to terminate his parental rights and told him I was considering doing the same because kids are expensive. we weren't ready, and maybe
This is a bullshit post, dude.
Yeah, no.
This is a bullshit
There's
post.
no way.
This is not real. Like, you're a fucking super villain.
And I didn't even notice. There's the fucking ChatGPT double hyphens in it.
Oh, there are.
I didn't notice it yet. Like, I was just trying to read the story, but yeah, it's all throughout it. Oh, come on, Diane.
Diane fucking lied and fucking made up a story.
All right, let's finish it out. It's just so that we don't get any anger from the gotta finish it ones. Because kids are expensive, we weren't ready, and maybe my parents could adopt him so we could both still see him whenever we wanted. He did not agree with that. Because if this is true, he's a man, and that's a solid way to be a dad.
Right, yeah.
A week later, I wasn't home when he came by. My parents told him they didn't know where I was or when I'd be back. He felt that like I had abandoned the child, but that wasn't true. I was at my grandmother's house and had told my mom. She just hadn't told my dad. The cops ended up getting involved, and after that, I stopped allowing visits without a formal parenting plan. Fast forward 10 months, we are finally in court. We still don't have a parenting plan, and my soon-to-be ex-husband has not visited at all in those 10 months. I've proposed a plan that I feel is fair. Throughout all this, he keeps saying he's willing to work things out with me. I keep telling him I don't want to. He continues to say the divorce will affect our son, but I just don't think that's true. I keep telling him to keep his focus on our son and not on reconciling.
Even though you didn't, because you keep saying don't see your son, and then we should give him parental rights.
But he keeps insisting we need to exhaust all options before moving forward with the divorce. I want a divorce. I want this relationship to be over, and he continues to want to reconcile. Am I the asshole, or is it my delusional soon-to-be ex-husband? 100%, if this is a true story, he did nothing.
Right.
You thought he could be cheating because he was working too much. There's no evidence of him doing anything wrong, and you're like dipping out on the father of your son and ultimately your son because of nothing. So 100% you are the asshole if this is a true story.
It is not. This is not. Like, how could you? I mean, look, I could see a 21-year-old child maybe thinking this way, but it's just like in the story, he did zero things wrong.
Nothing at all.
Not a
Working
singular
too
thing.
much.
Yeah, and then she was just the cunt throughout all of it.
There's no like actual, other than him working too much, there's no sign of any impropriety on his part. I'm going to delete out this story. That is just a wild take, though.
Right.
Is to,
So if that was a ChatGPT story, what'd they do? Just like, I want the most unredeemable, obvious, and I am the asshole.
Yeah, because, there's no way you could look at that and say, like, oh, no, I can see where she's coming from on that. Because she went out and got a boyfriend, like, mid-pregnancy. And, like, who's signing up for that? Like, other than the, like, I can't get her pregnant sex.
Right, yeah.
Like, that's the only...
Well, it looks like I get to pump and dump for a couple months.
That's just super wild. I wish there was a faster way for me to do this. Definitely computers are way better than tablets.
How fast does the watch? Here, watch me do it.
I thought you said you kind of edit it.
Yeah, but no, I said I could. Watch is going to start shooting.
No, it's not. It goes that fast the whole time.
That is crazy.
So I was just selecting it all, and you guys are getting to hear our
Right. That's the only thing about the
tablets. Whoa, what'd you do?
deleted it. Look at that. Might come through. Might come through. That's what I just said. I don't know. I think I had a stroke during that.
Man, I hate that we made it all the way through that before we realized it was.
Oh, yeah, this is AI. Yeah.
Well, and it could have been. I mean, it could be a real story, and then they threw it in there to like format it. But holy fuck, like if you are the listener that submitted that, and that is really your story, like this is one of those times you should talk to a therapist.
And also, if you're a listener and you submitted an AI story, it kind of makes you a cunt. Kind of makes you a dick. So hopefully it was. Hopefully whoever sent that could be like, yeah, it was just formatted by.
Yeah. But in that case, go see a therapist because you have some major. Like, I understand you're young, you're 21 years old, but you need to like work on yourself because that
Big
guy
time.
did not seem like he seemed like a solid dude that you threw away for.
Why is this guy so obsessed with his child? And why is he mad at me because I said the baby wasn't his? Why would he want a DNA test?
And why'd you leave him? Because he worked too much and you thought that he was cheating. Like, if there's no evidence of cheating other than he was gone a lot, like.
See, the only thing that stops me from saying that this story was AI is that he got mad over the innocuous line of her saying, when you have a child. You know what I'm saying? And that's just, I don't feel like that's a line that
ChatGPT would come
up with, yeah. Because it doesn't know, like, if a line is innocuous and would trigger somebody, you know? So that's the only thing that's just like, maybe it was formatted with it. Maybe this is a real person.
But if it is a real person, like, go seek help because that is, like, you threw away a solid dude from what you wrote. Like, you did not be like, he beat me. Like, there was nothing that he did other than he was gone too much, which is a problem. Like, you can say, yes, like, you're gone too much, you're not paying enough attention. However, he was at work, and if that's legitimately what he was doing, you threw away the hardest working fucking 16 hours a day, 7 days a week, just putting in work to try and provide for you guys, and you threw him away because he works too much. Like, get him a better job. Make him not a minor.
All right, yeah. All right, so we're going to move on to Fat Thundercat submission. And it says, I need advice. It's long, and I apologize. I would like to state my husband and I have talked about this prior to this submission. Hey, Dylan, Mike, JB, Big Red, Lost My Taco, Blue Hair, who submitted not too long ago, and Ricky from Oklahoma. Can't ever forget Ricky from Oklahoma. I know there are a bunch of you, but that's enough and who I can currently remember. I am writing in via notepad on my phone, then copy and pasting it to the website, so I apologize for any formatting or fluidity issues. Could have just used ChatGPT. Good God, Mike. Also, I don't know who wants to read this, but I apologize. It's long and I keep rambling. Dylan is the stronger reader of the two. I don't know if I'm taking shots right now, but I feel Mike might get more distracted trying to listen to the submission rather than reading it. Also, I'm not great at writing. I'm an American, but I've always struggled with proper punctuation, paragraph formatting, and leaving out 1 to 3 letter words. I did try to proofread multiple times. I am dyslexic and ADHD. It is up to your discretion who reads it. Thank you in advance.
Mike's reading it.
She's like, oh no. I will ask for the advice up front. How do I navigate not letting myself fall into mental health turmoil while my husband is on the road? My marriage is strong, so I'm not concerned with cheating, lying, or anything like that. I'm going to try to give some context and try not to bog this submission down, but it might be long. I have not had coffee yet this Sunday morning. Firstly, my husband is 26, obviously male, and I am a 27 female. Female, Mike. Dylan, please don't let him give me a penis halfway through this.
He will.
I probably will. We have 2 beautiful 7-month-old babies. We currently live in my husband's home state in the Midwest. I, as well as all of my friends and family, are from down south. I don't speak to my family, but I have plenty of friends that are family. I don't have a bad relationship with my husband's family, but not a close one. His dad, super awesome guy, absolutely love this man, lives down south 8 to 10 hours away, and his attention-seeking, lying-ass mother lives 15 to 20 minutes away. I don't like her. She can be disrespectful, and she tells half-truths to play victim. That said, she wouldn't harm my children. Even if she did, she has been made very aware it'd be the last thing she ever did. My husband has siblings he isn't super close with, but I am close to one of his sister-in-laws. We have a few very similar life experiences. Now, this isn't a family drama submission, but something more personal. My husband and I moved our relationship from very slow to very quickly. We met online, roughly 2020 to 21, in a mental health Discord server. That is a start. We didn't talk a whole lot then for the next few years, but according to my husband, he fell for me after listening to me berate a man for crying that his wife didn't trust him and was divorcing him. I suspected the crying man had cheated and was playing victim to everyone, so I called him out. I was right. I essentially told him, fuck out of here, nerd. You don't get to cheat and then cry about it to strangers online. Be a man and own up to what you did. At the same time, I was starting my career in EMS, which helped me grow a backbone and stand up for myself and others. That's a bit of context of my personality. I am confrontational when I feel it is necessary. I digress and continue. This feels like a listener submission right here.
All the little.
That last one was soulless. Didn't say nothing. She did take the first opportunity to be like, Mike can't read, which is fucked. I mean, and obviously now,
Neither of us can read.
obviously now I'm leaning towards you being the asshole because that was a very
Well, I think the problem is a lot of times it depends on the day, but some days you're like, and you try to read so fast that you start fucking shit up. But like right now, you haven't fucked up anything because you're just taking your time and reading.
Well, I started
nice
doing that
and
cadence a
patiently.
couple episodes ago. Have y'all noticed the reading cadence? Prior to reconnecting, we followed each other on one social media platform, liked and reposted similar posts and videos. This was the extent of our interactions from 2021 to 2024. When I say we moved fast, we started talking again late April of 2024 to being married on September 11th, 2024. Pregnant by January 2020. I was hoping you had the twins on
September 11th.
Yeah, because then you Mr. President, a second baby has entered the building. Like, just something crazy. We bought our home in June of 2025. We gave birth to 2 healthy, beautiful babies in September of 2025. Yes, I spent my first wedding anniversary 35 weeks pregnant. Throughout all of this, we have struggled financially, mentally, and emotionally, from cars breaking down, family drama, health issues, moving states away, some necessary fights, to unexpected babies, etc. Through all of this, we have definitely grown stronger as husband and wife, partners and lovers, best friends, and everything in between. We also have helped each other through childhood and adulthood traumas. This man is truly my best friend, and I love him more and more every day. He is a true family man, provider, and protector. I couldn't have a better husband. Aww. This is definitely enough backstory. Sorry, Mike. My husband has a new employment that will set our family up wonderfully. I will be able to stay at home with our babies, and our bills will be more than paid. With my husband's new job, he will be on the road away from home. If it matters, he will be doing work involving railroads. I don't have much details outside of that. He will be safe, though. And that's where I'd ignore my significant other. Every time they got home from work, I'm like, she's been working on the railroad all the live long day. And then, a couple months after that, she'd just be like, we got
Divorce.
Yeah, we got this. I can't. And I've told you to stop. And it's just like, it don't even register.
But I can't. I can't stop.
I can't. It's a part of my brain. The melody has to resolve. A concern we both have is my own mental health issues. I am a generally social person, but I'm also a homebody. My husband is terrified I am going to self-isolate and slip into a really bad postpartum depression. I already have a small battle with it previously, about 4 months after giving birth. I would like to say I'll be okay, but I know my mental health will take a nosedive with him being away for so long. I am really good at hiding when my mental health starts declining, especially when I start isolating. I do not blame him for being concerned. I have recognized and acknowledged the fact that I have become slightly dependent on my husband, especially mentally and emotionally. This really hit while I was pregnant and after having our twins. Mind you, these are our only children. My entire pregnancy was anxiety-ridden and stressful. We were told we weren't medically able to have one baby, let alone 2 at the same time. I am talking a 1 in a billion chance of having our own children. My very lovely doctors would tell me at every appointment that one or both might not make it due to intrauterine growth restrictions. Dylan coming in clutch. Now, my husband has to work up to 10 to 12 hours a day post-babies, but has been home every day. With his new job, the hours aren't long, and it's very much blue-collar work. Some communication, why I say that? Like, it's going to be like, it's like, good, you ain't working in an office. You can get you a real man who's out there breaking his back and his ankles. I don't want y'all. That's my thing. I don't want y'all to do blue-collar work. It's hard, okay? And it's hard on your body.
Yeah, the only reason to do it is if it pays better than the alternative.
Which it usually does. I mean, it's definitely a good way to, like, start life. I mean, in a couple of years, everybody's going to be just like, you just got to watch a robot do all the, the 4 people that work in a building that's for, 700 people. But we'll get to that day when it comes. So communication will be limited to late night or early in the morning phone calls and texts. Even then, short conversations. It's going to be a hard adjustment. Before everyone starts saying that I need to get out and touch grass or go to therapy, that is not my issue. I have PTSD from multiple points in my life. I have been able to raw dog it through life and do just fine. However, since we have moved to a new state, have had our children, and not had my support system, my anxiety about going out in public without another adult gets really, really bad. I can go out by myself just fine and be a normal functioning adult. The problem is I hate going anywhere with my kids that isn't their doctors, grandparents, aunts and uncles, or their godparents' house. Now, listen here, Mike. We are not getting political. Dylan, do not let Mike get political. I am trying to keep your follower count as it is or help it go up.
She's just coming at you hard.
Me
Just
hard? Why
Like,
me?
It's always you. You're always the one to blame. You can't read.
Well,
I mean, I agree with it.
Speaking of politics,
I agree with all of her takes, though. So
part of my anxiety stems from I come from an open carry state where just about everyone has something on them or near them, which somehow made me feel safe. I was about to say I thought she was scared of it at first. I'm like, I'm not scared of the guy with a gun strapped to. I'm scared of the guy who has a gun in, the front or back of his pants or is hiding it. But if somebody has a gun and it is on them, they're not, planning on doing anything nefarious with that gun. That is very person dependent in the state I am currently living. Lots of farmers and cops have wireless hole punchers. So do people who are legally not allowed due to past criminal history. I don't because it is a felony in the state without proper registration. The most I could do is carry a pocket knife, and even that could land me in jail, prison time.
where are you living?
Obviously, Chicago. It has to be Chicago. It's Midwest.
Can't carry a pocket knife?
No, fuck no. And none of the, New York, Chicago, the big cities like that.
You can't carry a pocket knife?
I don't know about pocket knife, but I know gun. The racism, aggression, and blatant disrespect go hard in the Midwest. I guess there could be Minneapolis, Indianapolis, probably near a big city in the Midwest.
You need to get that permit and just carry your GUN.
Right. Meanwhile, I can get to the gas station right now with a AR-15 strapped on my back, and nobody can say a word.
Open carry.
Mm-hmm. Never in my life have I been more fearful over saying something when things aren't okay. Down south, I could go to the hood, ghetto, trailer parks, suburbs, and be just fine. If I encountered problems, which wasn't often, I called it out, de-escalated, and went on about my day. Or I chewed them out till they left the situation alone. Where I live now, I feel like I have to tuck my head down and exit the situation immediately. I hate it because I feel it shows weakness. No, it doesn't. You are not a bear in the wilderness. It's okay to just be quiet. You know what I'm saying? If I see an altercation, as long as nobody defenseless is getting hurt, I don't care.
Yeah, if it's two grown men, go for it.
I'd love to see it actually. You know what I'm saying? I am.
Anybody got any popcorn?
Literally, me and my daughter went to a month ago. We went to the gas station, and a guy went in with an Uzi extended clip on his back. And I was just like, well, let's see where this goes. I don't know what he's planning to do with that. He just went in, got his drinks, came out, got in his car and left. I was like, all right.
Was it an airsoft or a legit guy?
I don't know. It looked real. It looked real.
I saw a guy down by the train tracks, down by the farmer's market here, and he was just carrying his AR. And I was like, I feel like sometimes people do it just to try and get a rise out of everybody. Because there's no real reason
Maybe
to
if
be
they
carrying
attack
it.
me, I get to shoot them.
Yeah, there's no real reason to be carrying it around for just shits and giggles.
Right. I don't want my children to see me back down from hateful comments or actions. I try to be respectful and let people know that it's not cool or appropriate, especially in front of kids. You can have your issues with me all you want, just not in front of my kids. Unfortunately, that doesn't work around here. If you aren't hateful or crazier, they don't stop. I mean, I'm pretty sure my kids have seen me back down from something or something wild happened in public, and I'm just like, I got my kid with me. The situation doesn't call for me to do anything right now. Even if I had a gun on me.
Well, that's what happened when that crazy dude came barefoot up to the doorway. I got my knife ready, but then I just let I was like, all right, dude, we just need to move on. But I wasn't going to initiate an altercation with my wife and my kid there. I'm going to wait until he moves before I react.
Also, you're not used to those situations because you
Not
did
at
just
all.
Park right in front of him with my window down while he has a knife. And
You're talking about a different guy.
Oh.
This is a totally different situation.
What the fuck happened with this one?
The guy just showed up in the rain, standing out front of our door, and I heard them come up, and by the time that I came, he was just standing in the door, barefoot, bleeding, and so I just pulled my knife out secretly,
Right,
and then just told him to basically move along, and just sat there waiting because I'm not going to start a fight. Like, I'm not going to, because then if I don't win that fight, my wife and kids
Are now vulnerable. Yeah.
now in trouble. So like, I'm just waiting for him to like move along. Like, I'm not going to initiate.
And that's the
an
biggest thing in
altercation.
a public interaction. If there's a chance that you go down, then you try everything to get out of that situation.
Yeah.
Because once again, if something happens to you and you're unconscious, dead, or whatever, your family's just there now. So I am a big proponent of,
And that's not really backing down. That's like making a smart decision, like situational awareness
Self-preservation, yeah.
of like, do I need to initiate some sort of thing, or do I just try to diffuse the whole thing and let it go by?
right. If it's me and my daughter and I walk by a group of 7 guys and they're sitting there talking shit about my daughter, saying just the nastiest shit out, I'm gonna keep walking. Like, I'm not gonna sit there and just like poke my chest out. A, I can't take 7 people, and B, what happens when I go down? If they have that much, wherewithal to talk shit, it's a live to die another day. Now, will I get in my car and like, run them over? That might be a different situation.
Well, and the only problem is that your Uzi with the full clip is on your back, and so you can't just like swing it around fast enough. So
Right.
at least get some distance between you before you do that.
This is where not leaving the house and self-isolation will kick in. I'm not afraid to go outside. I'm afraid of going out in public and not being able to properly protect my children and myself. I am afraid of disappointing my husband. I am afraid of letting my children down as a mother. I am afraid I will turn back into who I was before I began healing as a person. I am afraid I will sink into depression and become something I have fought so hard not to be. This is getting long as fuck. I apologize. I'm going to try to wrap it up. I'm sorry, Mike and Dylan.
We love you.
Yeah, we love you. Like, this is, but also I think the way that you're thinking right now is not healthy. And I've been a big proponent of, me toughing it out, but I've come to the realization I also need like that therapy and stuff like that. So I do think the way that you're thinking of, if you're in public, you have to protect your children. You could go out in public 365 days a year and not run into a lick of trouble. If you're in Chicago and you're in a bad part of Chicago, if you're
Don't live in
near
Chicago.
O Block, you know
Move
what I'm saying?
Move.
Yeah, don't go there.
Go
But if
wherever
you're
your husband's going to do his job.
right, the world does seem like a bad place because you get every instance of somebody being bad. Everybody is not bad everywhere, every single part of the day, and running into that is a very rare instance. I do think you do need to talk to somebody just to kind of get out of that mindset. I'm terrified. I don't know what to do. I have never been away from my husband for more than 2 weeks. That was us moving separately so he could find employment and a family emergency. I apologize for the rant and long-ass submission. I am currently trying not to sob like a little kid. My body is battling between fight or flight while I am trying to maintain normal to enjoy our time before my husband leaves. I know he is just going to work, but my mind and body are telling me he won't come back. I don't know if that is due to trauma or not, but it sucks, fat fucking donkey balls. I think part of me just needed to get this out on paper. I'm going to go make some coffee, try to stop anxiety crying, and smoke a fucking cigarette. I hope y'all have a good week. I look forward to more episodes from you guys, as MADHD and 2DJB have become my favorite comfort series. I play old and new episodes in the background while I do housework and take care of my babies. Thank you for being a place of entertainment, autistic ADHD comfort, and I guess now a place for me to vent. We love you so much. We love you so much. But definitely talk to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
P.S. I purposely put Dylan's name first just to fuck with Mike. Also, if you guys ever want tasty treats, give me an address to send them to you free of charge. I love baking/cooking and would love feedback. I just made some apple pie Chex Mix that I can't keep my fat ass hands out of. Mike's also trying to lose weight. I'm losing the battle, dude. And it's from like the quitting smoking.
You
and all
haven't
that
started
stuff.
the battle.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. Please keep this part to yourself. Oh, okay. You reading the part?
Mm-hmm. On to the update.
Do we keep the update to ourselves?
No.
Oh,
The
okay.
update is second story submitted.
Update. I was fucking wrong in all capital letters. So, short update. I found out my husband has actually been, I found out my husband has actually been cheating on me since my 3rd trimester of pregnancy. I'm truly at a loss. I confronted him. He denied everything. I have a phone call recording and multiple photos of proof. I am hurt and I don't know what to do. I don't want a divorce, but at this point, he is lying, cheating, and denying clear evidence. Fun fact, I found out he was on multiple dating apps and messaging people while I was pregnant. I didn't want to have sex while pregnant because I was extremely high risk. It was a twin pregnancy, and they had fused placentas causing issues. I never noticed the placenta issue until after I slurped that motherfucker out of my coochie. What a great
Way to say.
Fat Thundercat's a wordsmith right there,
Yeah.
dude. That was made my belly hurt a little bit. That's how you know it's good. Anyways, I have a bit of support. Everything from the cars, house, bills are in my name. Unfortunately, I just quit my job to be a stay-at-home mom. I truly don't know what to do. Do I let him get his dock wet while out on the road and cut him off sexually? Only reason I'm considering is if he's willing to pay bills and I can raise my kids comfortably, then fine, whatever. If divorce is the only option, then I am very much screwed. I am going to set up an appointment to get STD tested when my doctor's office opens.
Slow down, Mike.
I hope I haven't gotten it. I'm sorry, I started getting into it now because it's like, well, fuck. And it's like, I want to know. I gotta get more. I gotta get more. I gotta get more.
It's delicious.
It's delicious.
All the drama.
I hope I haven't gotten anything as I found evidence of local cheating as well. Thank you guys for reading this. I apologize if it doesn't make sense. I've been awake for nearly 24 hours and I am tired. You definitely got to divorce his ass.
Yeah, I mean it's a tough call because like honestly, if he's out on the road and he's just a paycheck and you don't really need a support or anything, like I mean just keep taking all
Fuck
the
it.
money.
Use them till you find a better option.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah. Use them till you find a better option. He wanted to fuck everything up and be a cunt. So
I mean that's such a shitty thing. Like I get we are all animals and we want to have sex but like when your wife is pregnant, if she wants to, doesn't want to, like you just do whatever your pregnant wife wants you to do.
beat
Like,
your meat, dog.
Yeah.
Like you can if you're so much of a pussy that you just can't beat your meat.
for a short period of time. And the thing is like, just let her decide. Like, if she feels like she's worried about it, that's a solid concern. And yeah, you don't have to go fuck an actual pussy to get the same. It takes what, a couple minutes and you're done. Just do that.
Couple seconds, you know.
Yeah.
And that's not me talking shit about like my endurance. That's me speaking highly of how good my left hand is.
Well, and I'm talking a couple minutes because you have to find the right one to like to watch while you're doing it, and so that takes like at least like a minute and a half, and then the 30 seconds to get it done.
This week I did the imagine in my head one. So yeah,
As if the internet was down.
yeah, like I felt like I was back in the 90s. It was a little nostalgic, you know what I'm saying? And there was no like I'm thinking about my wife and it's getting all sexy and shit like that. My grandma walking, hello, and just get out of here, mama, get out of here. Why am I coming harder? So update 2. Hey y'all, so this is going to be hectic. I don't know if I put in my last 2 submissions, but my husband had left 2 phones in the basement. These phones don't have active service, but are connected to Wi-Fi, and I can see everything except texts. The number is old, so it wouldn't matter anyways. So here's what I have so far. I have found evidence of my husband attempting to meet up with random women via apps, websites, and even Reddit. What? He's on Reddit looking for pussy?
That's where all the swingers live.
Is it? I don't fucking know. So now we have just told potential cheaters, though, that listen to this, you can get you some play on Facebook and on Reddit. He's been doing this for almost a year. He is still denying like a kid who got caught with his hands in the cookie jar. He is in a manic episode, and I don't know how to get him out of it. You leave him in the manic episode. He refuses to admit to the cheating when it's presented, and he is trying to deflect on old issues he has had with me. I didn't cheat, but did have a few phone conversations with someone he disliked. Mind you, I also dislike this person and essentially bullied them when we talk. When I bring that up, that he was caught with a Tinder profile while I was pregnant, he says we talked about that already. I let that go at the time because it didn't have any recent activity. Approximately 2 years before we met was the newest message. So Tinder was not the place he was doing it at.
Yeah, and that's not
Yeah.
if it was 2 years ago, that was a dead.
So last night, I called his mom to watch our babies so I could process without being overwhelmed. After she came and got them, I screamed and cried until I left the house. Met up with friends who also tried talking to my husband. He denied it to them. I had shown them proof. We talked this morning, and he said he had spoken to his mother and tried spouting that she threatened to call CPS on me. She did not make these statements. He tried to make me out to be an unfit mother because I asked his mom to watch them for the night while I was with our mutual friends. I left their house around 3 a.m. and made it home around 3:30 a.m. Against my better judgment, I went through his phone again. I couldn't keep reading. I had an emotional breakdown in the shower and drove to my in-laws. I'm currently snuggling babies and sitting in my in-laws' house. I can't breathe if I go back to my house. It used to be my home, a safe place. Walking in the door feels empty and suffocating at the same time. Here's where I'm going to be made fun of by y'all. I love my husband. I know the man I've lived with the past year and have been fighting with the last few days is not the man I married. But it is. But it is, because y'all got married and he was cheating on you while you were pregnant. So it is the man you married. The good parts is the pretend guy. That's the pretend guy. The guy that's cheating, that's the man you married.
Well, I mean, all of it is him.
Right.
But, like, that makes up him. And the only thing, and I won't say this, like, to, like, try and make him seem better, but, like, both of y'all met on, like, a mental health. Like, you guys have issues, and you guys, in this place, both of y'all should be in therapy. Like, this is the epitome of therapy, is, like, you guys met with mental health issues. You guys should be working on those things with a therapist on a regular basis. Like, from your initial one where you're talking about being scared of going out of the house and all this stuff, like, all of that is stuff that you guys should be working with in therapy. And I don't know that it would have kept him from cheating. That might be his personality trait, and that might be who he is anyways. But if he is bipolar and, like, always constantly just kind of never the same, like, either really high, really low, not that it excuses it, but if he was in therapy, he might be able to control his tendencies better if he was actually talking to a medical or a mental health professional.
Right. That may sound stupid, but I am giving him the benefit of the doubt that this is possibly all due to unchecked mental health. I have tried to be there and check on him, but he stopped opening up to me. This is not normal behavior from my husband. I can't afford to get a divorce as I just quit my job to be a stay-at-home mom. I honestly don't want a divorce. I want him to look at the damage he is causing. I want him to see that I'm willing to forgive and try to work on things. Right now, he is pushing me away. One minute he loves me, the next he is telling me he is done with me. I'm going to get STD tested and pregnancy tested this week to make sure I don't have anything going on. As for right now, I don't know what else to do. He is treating me like the bad guy because I went through his phone.
No.
Yeah, no. He is the bad guy.
Yes.
He has lost all rights to privacy.
Yes.
I think we are supposed to talk tonight, but I don't know if he will. His last few messages are spiteful. I won't be blamed for his actions. I won't be blamed for his lack of communication and inability to love himself.
See, that's the thing, though, is like, okay, if he was at all somewhat sympathetic to what he's done to you, I would say, you know, like, I get that you love your husband and maybe things will change. However, he is completely...
You're the bad guy. It's not my fault.
Yeah, he's absolving himself of any wrongdoing in this. And so he, in my opinion, he does not respect you. He does not, like, love you and care for you. And the fact that you're the mother of his kids, like, all that shit should weigh on him and make him at least be like, I'm sorry. Like, I don't know what's going on. Like, they're not that he has an excuse, but he should be like, this is what's going on in my life. This is why I made these decisions. I don't want to lose you, but, like, none of that's happening. So, like, I get that you love him, but that doesn't mean he deserves that love.
Right. The ultimate form of respect or showing of respect in a relationship, whether it's marriage or friendships or anything, is accountability.
Yes.
For if you've done wrong, it's accountability and being able to recognize that you fucked up. But he can't do that. So
Because people make mistakes. Like,
Right.
I mean, this happens, and, like, there's plenty of relationships where people cheat and then they fix it. For a lot of people, that's like a no cross line and it's just done.
right.
But some people make it through it. And, like, unfortunately, I don't think he's showing the signs of wanting to make it through it.
Right. I fully recognize that he hates himself, but he doesn't do anything to change. I am hoping this is the breaking point to him getting the help he needs. I love him deeply, wholeheartedly. I just wish this wasn't happening right now. Sorry about the formatting. I'm on my phone and I'm upset. I hope you all have a good day. And then finally, we have the last update. My husband and I spoke on the phone this afternoon. Y'all can call me dumb, but we are not getting a divorce. We're not going to call you dumb.
No.
That's one thing, man, is ultimately we can get on this podcast and we can spout off the most, 40 chess fucking advice in the world. If somebody wants to stay with somebody who cheated and they want to work through that, that's them. You know what I'm saying? And I can say, hey, it's a bad move. Hey, you know, the chances of him doing it again are astronomical. But y'all do have a background of mental health, not absolving him of any of this,
not
not
at
a
all.
singular bit. I do think the only way you should take him back is y'all do therapy a lot. He needs to do solo therapy and couples therapy.
And you should do solo
and
therapy,
absolutely, yeah, absolutely. You should do therapy.
For your kids' sake, most of anything. And like that's the big thing is like with this scenario, and like the big thing with what we're saying is we're not in that situation. We can't, like the amount of things that you guys go through, we don't have any clue of all the dynamics and everything. So like nobody's dumb for doing what they think is right. Like it might end up being the dumb reason, but you can't tell that until you actually get to the other side of that.
I mean,
scenario.
ultimately, with any of these stories, you know, they've had a whole relationship, and technically, we've gotten 3-4 days of this relationship. That's it. The 3-4 days. We have not seen anything else that goes on. That's why, you know, sometimes when we're reading these, we read between the lines and do stuff like that. But if you think that there's something there, you've lived with this man infinitely longer than me and Dylan have. If you think that there's something there and you're willing to try, we ain't going to shit on you for it.
No.
We just want you to be happy. That's it. And if going this route and doing the therapy, but understand this too. Understand this. If you go the therapy route and he does go to therapy and he goes to this is not something you can constantly bring up year after year after year, because you've made the decision to forgive him for this. Essentially, you've made the decision that you want to work through this. So it's not something that you can repeatedly bring up and like it'd be your ace in the hole and shit like that. Some new issues were brought to light. We have both agreed to work on together. Social media, transparency, and trust building and honest communication are some of the areas needing attention and improvement. This will be my last update on the matter. It is not some awesome, amazing story or update. I am home with my babies, cat, and a box of taquitos my friend sent me. I am tired, y'all. I'm going to eat dinner and cuddle with my babies. I hope y'all have a week.
A week.
We will definitely have a week. We don't know how it's going to
Well, this is the
pan
end of
out.
the week, so we're done with our week.
No, it isn't. We're shooting a fucking short movie tomorrow.
Yeah.
Our week continues. And then we'll get one day, and then we're right back at it.
Yeah, I think the big thing is just take care of yourself and the babies. Like, that's the only thing you love him, yes. And I agree that it is important to work on your guys' relationship. But at the end of the day, the most important thing is raising those babies. So give them a happy, healthy home, take care of them, and like that's the key. So how'd you learn the fast way to delete everything?
I just click on it, and then I pull it up like a Chad, and then I delete it. You want me to do it?
Yeah, you delete it all.
Delete it all. You big nasty fuck. All right, I gotta go back down to the bottom of the story, and then... Yeah, what a twist. What a twist.
All right, keep them busy for a second.
The neighbors. Oh. All right, I'm just going to get into another story, not delete this one, so I can keep them entertained. Go to one of these shorter ones. Probably wrap up the day on one of these shorter stories right here. So I guess this one's good. Better than anything. And it is from Damien Roth. What should I do about being forced to be around kids as someone with a bad history? Brother, you got to word that a little bit better, though, because it's like, what do I do? I'm forced to be around kids, and court order says I cannot. I must be 500 yards away. Hey, Mike and Dylan, I'm one of your guys' biggest fans, and I'm a Patreon member as well as having a lot of labor llama. This is a story of the biggest mistake I have ever made. To set the stage, I was a 17-year-old male most of my senior year and was the commanding officer of a JROTC program. Senior year was an odd year for me, and during the beginning months, there was a freshman female, 14, who hit on me. I was in a relationship the first half of the year, so I didn't pursue, but also really didn't stop her. I enjoyed the attention. When that relationship had ended, I then began entertaining the freshman until we finally ended up having sex. Whoa. it didn't really go through my head clearly the taboo age difference. To me, it was a classmate that I had 2 classes with. I'm not saying this as an excuse. Dylan, I'm gonna need some help when you get time. God, but this story's a crazy one. Yeah, I'm gonna start over. Okay, this is from Damian Roth. All right. What should I do about being forced to be around kids as someone with a bad history? Well, the wording on that is rough, right? It makes you think
super
that.
rough.
Yeah, it don't get better. The message is, "Hey, Mike and Dylan, I'm one of your guys' biggest fans and am a Patreon member as well as having a lot of labor llama. This is a story of the biggest mistake I have ever made. To set the stage, I was 17 male most of my senior year." Then they turned into a woman. The first time I read that, I was like, "How are you a 17 male most of the senior year?" And that was the commanding officer of the JROTC program. Senior year was an odd year for me, and during the beginning months, there was a freshman female, 14, who hit on me. I was in a relationship the first half of the year, so I didn't pursue, but also didn't really stop her either. I enjoyed the attention. When that relationship had ended, I began entertaining I about did it again. Entertaining the freshman. The first time I read that, I said entering the freshman. Yeah, not good. Entertaining the freshman until finally we ended up having sex. Remember, he was 17 most of the year, and then I'm assuming he hit 18. It didn't really go through my head clearly the taboo age difference. To me, it was a classmate that I had 2 classes with. I'm not saying this as an excuse. I'm just stating my mindset at the time. We didn't have sex again for a few months until she was 15 and I was 18. It was right before graduation, and we ended up doing it again. Stupid, I know.
See, I don't see that. Like, this is not a huge taboo.
This is a kid going to school with this is one of those where we say circumstance. Like when I see a 17-year-old and they have the 10-year, have to be on a registry. They had sex with somebody from their high school, like a fucking 14. The parents got mad and shit like that. It's still a kid fucking up.
So
and it's more of a they've been failed by the school and then other people to not know that that's not wrong, because when we were growing up, you saw 21-year-old dudes date 14-year-olds.
See, that's the problem. Like, when you're in like a high schooler, you're in school and you're like at a high school, like you shouldn't be going to middle school or, grade school. Like, those are problems. But like a high schooler with another high schooler, the age is different. And I'm not saying that an 18-year-old should be having sex with a 14-year-old.
Right.
They shouldn't. But like an 18-year-old and a 15-year-old, like as soon as you are, 21 and a 25-year-old, not a big deal because you're both adults and all that stuff. So the age gap isn't really as big of a deal in that scenario. Like, for one, the parents, the 14-year-old should not be having sex. Like,
Correct.
That should be the main concern. But it is a high schooler with a high schooler. They're in the same chapter of their life. So I don't see it as this big taboo thing. Like,
like you shouldn't do it, and you should have been educated against it, but it's not a pyre situation.
But yeah, you are not a pedophile. You are with your peers. Like, it is not a pyre. You're not a predator. Like, you're not a super successful person out there that can then spoil them with gifts. It is simply you two have classes together. You find each other attractive.
You're in the same environment, yeah.
It's not. I do not think this is a predator situation.
Stupid, I know. I wasn't using the right head in any of this. Her dad caught us and he called the police. I was arrested and went to court and was ultimately given mercy by the judge and the prosecutor. I apologized to her and the father and received 6 months of probation, and it was labeled as misdemeanor battery. I'm not on any list or anything. Here's where the nuanced conflict comes into play. I am 21 and now, engaged with a daughter on the way, just applied for a mortgage and have an associate's in psychology. I do a sports drill that is a majority high school sport with a graduated adult division.
So it's a sport called drill. I don't know what that sport is called, or what that sport is.
I do a sport called drill that is, the only drill I know is the rap. That is a majority of high school sport with a graduated adult division. I participate in the adult division and was actually 4th in the world. Because of my history, I stay away from anyone younger than me. The people who run these competitions reached out to me, and I started working for them as a manager. The problem is it forces me to interact with younger people. Nothing personal, just professional, but to the point of them wanting me to run a drill camp with 10 instructors my age and about 200 high schoolers. I'm honored to be chosen to do this camp, and I really want to do it. However, I don't know if it's the right thing to do given my history. For clarification, everyone in the sport knows my history, and for the most part, I'm accepted throughout. I just don't want to put myself or the company I work for at risk by even a bad perception. I have no fear of me being able to keep it professional. My fear is the public perception of it all. See, at first I was worried about I was like, are you like, I don't want to be tempted around all these young high schoolers.
Yeah.
Because then I'm like, go talk to somebody now, ASAP, because you're a predator. But public perception, if you have been upfront about this, which honestly, it's not a thing, because
not a thing.
you were a high schooler having sex with a high schooler, and yeah, it's fucked. I don't want you're 18, she's 14 or 15 at the time. Don't do that. Like, but also that is up to your parents, your school system, everything, letting you know that that's not okay.
But I mean, and that's the thing is, like, yes, it is probably you're pushing too far on the age gap thing and being in high school. However, like when she's 18 and 16, that's completely fine. Like, why is it just from 18 to 16 is fine, but then the second that you go 15, it's the worst thing in the world.
Right.
Like, that doesn't make sense. And like, if you guys are in high school, like, had it been like a middle schooler, I 100% agree. This is super terrible. You were going way too young on this situation. But a senior with a freshman, yeah, it's not the best situation, but it's not like you went and she wasn't one of 10 freshmen that you kept trying to hook up with freshmen. It's a singular person that you guys hooked up. Like, I don't see it as a good thing. It's not a good thing, but you're not a predator in the scenario at all.
It's something that, I mean, schools and parents need to kind of get on the ball better about, hey, what's a good, not the whole, if you have sex, you're going to die because you're fucking kids up and then they're going to have sex. Because everybody's like, don't do it, don't do it. So naturally, when a teenager rebels, that's the first thing they're rebelling to. But they should be like, hey, like, educate them on especially seniors turning 18 in high school. Be like, hey guys,
this is a legal issue.
Yeah, you can get charged with a crime. So let's not do that. So we're gonna say, at the same time, this is not like pyre level shit.
Not at all.
Also,
not even close.
Don't do it. And then, like, who gives a fuck? If you're 21 and you're not sexually attracted to high schoolers, you were a high schooler that had sex with another high schooler.
Yeah.
I mean, so if you were put on a registry, okay, and my kid was going to go there, that is something I would have a problem with. You know what I'm saying? If this was like somebody I knew, like say this was somebody growing up with, and I found out, that they had been charged with, battery from being 18, having sex with a 15-year-old, I probably wouldn't even like think about it. I'm still not going to let my daughter around anybody, but you know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, and that's being a good parent.
Right. Yeah.
Like, they shouldn't be hiring a sex offender, but you're not a sex offender. And so, like, really, it's not an issue. I understand your reservations about it, but I think you are completely in the clear. And as long as you are not attracted to kids, that's the big key. Thing. Like, if that is true, if that's a true statement, you're 21 years old, like, you technically are still a young gentleman. But, like, as long as you are not attracted to these high schoolers, you're married, you have a kid on the way, like, you should not worry too much about it, because you did not technically do anything. It wasn't good, but it wasn't fully, like, you didn't seek out a kid and try to...
Did you delete all the fat Thundercat stuff?
I figured out a faster way.
Okay.
I figured it out. I am still the tech king.
Good job.
I have my title. You're funny. I deal with the tech.
Now, I am going to say, like, if you was 19
yes,
and out of school, I'd be saying
no.
This would be a lot different.
No redemption there.
Yeah. You're not in the same environment. You are actively putting yourself in that environment. That's where you stop getting any of the like benefit of the doubt.
Well, and see, that's where like when people meet in high school and there's like a weird age gap. Yes, that, and then the second that you're out of high school, if you meet that person out of high school and you start that relationship, that is a problem. If you guys had been dating from like junior year all the way through,
Right.
you can't just be like, oh, now it's wrong because you're not in school anymore. Like it's one of those cases of like, where did this relationship develop? Were you guys already dating? Like if you then graduate and then you go back and pick up the fucking sophomore problem. Like if you guys were dating through school, it's less of a problem. But
Right. We're not, me and Dylan aren't just Neanderthals that can't like think about, like we stand on our principles, but also like different situations demand different things, different ways of thinking. And also too, at your little drill sport, half the people ain't gonna care because Russell Brand just came out and said he had sex. He was like, I was 30 and I had sex with a 16-year-old. And then everybody's like, 16, legal age consent. That's legal age consent. Can't say nothing about it. He was 30. It was a different time. I looked at that comment section. I just
how
got off
old
of
is he
it.
now?
I don't fucking know. It was like I guess he would have been 30 around the like 2010 or something.
Okay, let Russell Brand not be so like anti vaccines and conspiracy
Nah,
theory
don't
and all
get
that
into
stuff.
that. Don't get into
But, like,
politics.
I mean,
'cause
had he
he's
not,
a pedophile.
if he was, no, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If he wasn't that, it would be like, yeah, he's a crazy Hollywood elite. He's fucking 16-year-olds. But since he's not, he's fitting a different bill. It's getting washed as if like, oh yeah, that's
Well,
that's
he's one of
fine.
us, so we have to defend him, and it's just wild. But I mean, there are literally people out there that's like, if you're 45 and she's 16, that's legal age consent.
No,
No,
she's a kid.
No, that's me fucking blowing your dome smooth off. That's
Yeah.
what that is. And then the situation is too, like, it's so much easier to talk to people in real life because I had a friend who was talking about it, and his daughter's the same age as my daughter. And I was like, oh, so when your daughter's 16 and she starts dating a 45-year-old, having sex with a 45-year-old man, you're gonna be like age of consent. And he was just like, I am wrong. He said it right there
really?
too. He was like, I am wrong. Yeah. He was like, oh, I fucked up.
He was actually trying to tell you that it was okay.
Yeah, he was doing the age of consent argument, and I gave him that, and he just like looked at me. He kind of did the little. He's like, yeah, I'm wrong. He's like, I'm wrong about this in this situation. Yeah,
So,
but nobody can do that. Nobody has the capacity to like. Well, what if you were in this situation?
that's immediately what I think. Like that's the way that I look at the world is like if I was put in this scenario and like I think some guys like they like to think like, oh yeah, like if this 16-year-old was coming at me and like they have like some weird fantasy about young girls, but like no, that's terrible. Like just now imagine your sister when she's 16 and
Right.
a 45-year-old. Like you're anybody that's around you that you care about, would you suggest for them to get into that scenario? No, so it's not okay. Like if it's never okay, period. But like just put yourself in these scenarios of people that you want to protect in your life being in that scenario. Would it still be okay? No?
Right.
So live on that for everybody, for politicians, celebrities, doesn't matter. You just because
Everybody should be held to the same standard.
Yes.
Like I can't. The thing I can't stand too is like you see billionaires get charged with shit, and then it's just like, not only do I not want to be charged with it, I want all evidence destroyed. And the judge is like, "Yep, I have to do this because
money.
yeah, this suitcase with all his evidence in it, I can't open it because it's just filled with cash." But that was his evidence. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. This has been, I think this was a good episode of Mike and Dylan Hate Drama because we got to kind of give different perspectives on takes we always stand on business on. The 18-year-old, 15 in high school, and then also with Fat Thundercat's situation of saying, hey, if you do decide that you want to work through this, and it's like takes we don't normally get to give.
Nuance.
Yeah, nuanced. Very, very nuanced. I like, fuck yeah, I would have sounded smarter if I would have thought of nuanced first, but I didn't because I got kind of a smooth brain. Guys, we love you so much, and we will see you next time.
Later.